Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing with you my week 28 pregnancy update. It might be week 29 by the time you see this. My weeks have kind of been fluctuating a little bit based on baby size. I'm still sticking with my due date, but the midwives have been, I'll just start there. I had my midwife appointment a couple weeks ago and they have been measuring my bump. It's actually on the bigger side, which I have been saying. I'm like, my bump just is so much bigger than I feel like it should be at this stage. So they're saying baby's bigger. And so because of that, my developmental like what week I'm on is changing a little bit, so it's fluctuating. But anyway, currently I'm around week 28. Or when you see this, I'll be about week 29. I'll show you my bump at the end, but I do have quite a bit to update you guys on this time around. So first of all, before I go back into the midwife appointment, I want to say back pain has been unbelievably bad. You'll see me do this a lot throughout this video. I just filmed a video with my son, and pretty much the whole video, my arm is like that and I'm pushing on my back because of the pain. I can't sit in the car for more than 10 minutes. I can't stand too long. I can't sit in church. Like, I pretty much need to be laying down or my back hurts. It's been the hardest pregnancy in that sense of all of them, just because it's been so hard getting things done with the back pain and everything else. So anyway, that's the first thing I wanted to say is back pain has been just absolutely horrible. Overall, this pregnancy has been better in the sense that my energy's a little, overall energy's a little better, which is misleading because I actually have very low energy, which I'll touch on in a minute. But nausea's better, like motivation's better, my depression is good. So all that kind of stuff has just been better all around. But the one thing that's been consistently really bad with this pregnancy has been the back pain. I do have, like I said, in my previous updates, I do have a fractured rib, which is obviously contributing to that. And because my torso is so small, I'm only 5'4", but with that 5'4", I have really long legs for my height and a really short torso. So baby, and all my babies are really large, around the 9-pound mark is really big for my body and is just pushing out my ribs, and it's a lot. So the next thing that's been really dominant this pregnancy, and the only other complaint that I actually have, is my iron levels. I had a midwife appointment a couple weeks ago, and they did some blood work, and my iron levels came back really low. Even my ferritin was pretty low. Now, I want to take a minute and touch on this because this is an important part of my update, I guess, and might actually, help some other women as well. I have been anemic my whole life. It's just like my body type. I do have autoimmune, and typically people who have chronic inflammation have lower ferritin levels. The body depletes it really quickly. And the problem, the catch-22, is that you can't necessarily supplement with a higher dose of iron, or it can cause an autoimmune flare for most people, or at least some people, through this reaction called the Fenton reaction, which I don't want to get into. But the point is I've been anemic my whole life, and autoimmune has contributed to that, but I haven't been able to bring my iron levels up to a point that's adequate throughout my entire life because I can't supplement with a high dose of iron. So it's kind of caused me to be anemic most of my life, but every pregnancy that I have, I get more and more and more anemic, obviously as baby's taking a lot of my iron stores. This pregnancy has been the lowest it has ever been. My iron was like 100 and my hemoglobin was 105, which is really low. Like the lowest it should be during pregnancy, something that we consider low, is 130. So when they saw that result, they were really, really, really concerned. And I have been saying this whole pregnancy, even though I said my energy levels are good, I'll explain what I meant, I have been severely exhausted and fatigued. My energy in the sense of like, I want to get things done. I want to do things. I'm motivated to work. I'm motivated to get things, happening. That has been better. My other pregnancies with depression, not so great. And I kind of wanted to sit in bed all day and do nothing. So my energy in terms of like what I want to get done is good. It's just my body physically holds me back from doing that because my iron is so low and I'm so anemic and I can't supplement with a high dose. I feel like there's some days where I'm on the couch and I cannot get up. I'm just so tired, or I can't lift my arm above my head. Some days are better than others, but most days it is a challenge. Or if I go out to the grocery store for 30 minutes, that completely wipes out the rest of my day, where I just feel like I need to sleep all day. So it's been affecting my mood. It's because I'm just so tired. I'm snappy with the kids and very short with them, which isn't fair, but it's just been really hard this pregnancy because my iron has been the lowest it's ever been. It's also created a concern. The midwives did tell me that I cannot have a home birth unless, because they're worried of hemorrhaging and other things, and side effects to baby having such low iron, unless I can get my levels up within the next 3 weeks. So I'm getting retested in just under 3 weeks. And they said if my levels are not up by then, where I will be 32 weeks pregnant by that point. They said if my levels are not up by then I cannot have a home birth, which really was hard for me to hear. And it still is, and I still don't want to believe it, because I literally refused to have a hospital birth. After having a home birth with my daughter, it was like so much better and in every way. And I don't want to go back to a hospital for a birth. I found it to be so much more stressful and overwhelming. On top of that, I found that the hospital birth I had a lot less control over things. I was forced pretty much to have IV antibiotics and a whole bunch of other things. So I'm at the point where I'm like, no hospital birth, but obviously I would have to do what's best for the baby. But I'm just really trying to get my iron levels up. So before I move to the rest of the video, what I've been doing for my iron levels at this point is I am supplementing with iron and vitamin C, but I'm taking a low dose. So it's not a high dose, and I'm just taking what I can without flaring up my autoimmune. I also am eating a lot of iron-rich foods, so grass-fed beef and lamb. I'm also doing plant sources as well, so spirulina, lots of beets and spinach, a lot of nuts. I wish I could do oysters because I've been craving those, but no, I'm not doing those. But just, eating a lot of iron-rich foods. You don't absorb iron really well through food, and even supplementation, you don't absorb a ton of it. So it is better to supplement with a high dose and get as much as you can. In my case, I can't. So I'm just doing what I can, really trying to make sure I'm getting lots of iron in with the vitamin C and just hoping for the best. So please pray my numbers go up by the time I get my blood work done again, or I am going to be crushed. But anyway, that's the updates. Aside from that, everything else has been so good this pregnancy. I mean, baby is healthy and growing. Clearly, I feel him, everywhere. Just, he feels huge already. And obviously my stomach is bigger than it should be, so he's clearly on the bigger side. So all of that's okay. Everything's been great. My blood sugar's great. Everything else came back normal in the blood work. It was just those two things. So that's all. Now, as far as sleep goes, I have been having a hard time sleeping. I just started getting restless leg, but I've been counteracting that with magnesium, potassium, calcium. So just getting minerals in before bed, and that's been helping a lot. But something that's been keeping me up is just baby. He's really active at night to the point that it's like painful. He kicks the ribs and the whole thing. So I find that it's just hard for me to sleep because I'm such a light sleeper. So sleep has been hard, plus paired with the exhaustion from the anemia, it's been a challenge to actually get things done. Even though I feel like I have the energy and I want to, my body's like, no, you can't. I think that's everything as far as this pregnancy goes. No new stretch marks. I have stretch marks, like I said, from my very first pregnancy, but I haven't had any new ones since then. I'm just keeping my belly nice and hydrated. My breasts have been getting sore, so I think that things are starting to happen. It was funny, the other day I was holding my friend's daughter, and she's a couple months old. I was holding her like on my chest, and she started crying, and my breasts actually started hurting. And so I'm like, there's definitely some either milk production going on in there, or something's happening. I can feel it. I'm due in under 3 months, so about 2.5 months. So I think my body's just preparing for a lot of that. I feel like baby's still really high up right now, but I feel him engaging more into the pelvis. He is head down and he currently is posterior, which stressed me out, but the midwife said not to worry because things can still move. That being said, all my kids were posterior and moving didn't do anything. Like trying to move them didn't do anything. They still ended up posterior. So I think that's what's going to happen in this case. But wishful thinking again that he might be anterior this time so that I can have a much easier delivery. But currently he is head down. his limbs and things are facing outwards. I don't know what else to update you guys on. Aside from that, my postpartum, like normally, not postpartum, my prenatal, normally my hair would be thinning and stuff. Everything's been great there. It's just messy because I don't have time to do my hair, but everything's been good. I don't think I have anything else to update you guys on, so I'll just show you the bump really quick. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you've gone through severe anemia in pregnancy, let me know what you did or what helped. I'm using all my nutrition and homeopathic background, and I'm taking all the supplements and the foods and trying to get my levels up as much as I can, but you only can absorb so much, and I have to be careful with how much I put into my body so I don't flare. So it's been a balancing act, and I'm hoping it pays off. I'm hoping I'm getting enough in. But anyway, I'll show you the bump really quick. So this is, I'm not really wearing a good shirt to show this, but let's see if I can tighten it here. This is the bump from the front for 28 weeks. Here's from the side. So it's a pretty good size. I do have a high-waisted like sweatpants on, so it makes it look a little bit bigger and thicker, but here's from the other side. It's a good size. And the front. So I think that's everything. I will hopefully come back on here for like a week 30, 31 update. I'll definitely update you guys on when I get my second round of blood work done. One thing I forgot to actually say is I have passed on everything. So I have declined the glucose testing, pretty much completely hands off this pregnancy. I'm just doing the bare minimum. They offered me another ultrasound. I've declined. Not that it was needed. If there was something serious and a reason why I would need it, of course I would do it. But they were like, if you just want to see kind of how big baby's measuring and things like that, we can do another one. And I was like, nope, just let's keep it as hands off as possible. So that has been nice. I've barely had any appointments. I've actually only had 2. They do not take my weight in the appointments because for me, it doesn't really matter. I feel like I haven't gained weight anywhere except my belly. And maybe my breasts because they're larger. But aside from that, I feel healthy. I'm working out as much as I can with the energy that I have. I would say probably just twice a week I'm actually doing a workout, but we are going on like family walks and things like that. So I'm still moving my body as much as possible. But yeah, it's been harder without enough energy. My other pregnancies, I was doing workouts every day and all kinds of things. So this has been definitely different. But very hands-off as far as the testing I'm getting done. I am not doing that bacterial testing, like really hands-off this time. So it's been a lot of stress kind of lifted. I feel like with my other ones, I was always like one appointment to the next, and then, you know, one thing I had to do, more blood work, more this, more that, and I'm just really trying to get the bare minimum done, which is taking a lot of stress off of me, which is kind of nice. We are now making a list of all the baby things that we're going to need. So when we start ordering all the baby stuff, I'll show you kind of what I've purchased and what my staples are. I am going 100% organic with this baby. So organic clothes, organic everything, diapers, wet wipes. So I will show you all what I'm getting, but we are also keeping it very minimalistic. I'm not buying a ton of clothes. I'm not buying any accessories and all that stuff that you don't need or that the baby will outgrow within the first couple weeks of life. So I just want to keep it really simple and not spend a ton of money. So I will show you guys all of that when we start getting into that. I've been a little bit lazy kind of putting things together. Normally I would have had it all done by now, but it is what it is. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have an awesome spring and summer, and I will be coming on here hopefully in a few weeks to share the next update. Have a wonderful day. Bye.